is asked, I feel like I know nothing, and yet, is there even anything to know? Right? Is that? Most of us tragically spend our lives accumulating knowledge. But the knowledge of facts. So we go to school, we go to university, we get advanced degrees, and we start to feel like I know something. Look at all these tests I've passed, look at all these books I've read, look at all these facts and figures I can give you. Look at all these skills I've attained, I can do this and do that. And yet, tragically, none of that actually helps us at all. None of that is giving us any kind of real wisdom or real intelligence of how to live our lives, or even any concept of who we actually are. So when you say, I feel like I know nothing, most of us are in the same boat, because sadly in this world, that which we're taught is not made up of things that are actually worth knowing. Excuse me. For our careers, sure, it's wonderful. If you're going to be a doctor, for example, you need to understand biology, you need to understand anatomy, you need to understand surgery. So it's not that it's utterly useless. The knowledge gives us the tools to be able to fulfill what our role is in the world, in terms of what my career is going to be, what I'm going to do. But it's not the real knowledge. And so most of us are in the same boat of saying, I don't know anything. Meaning, I don't know anything that really gives me an answer. In the night, when I wake up in the night, wondering, who am I? Why am I here? What does it mean? Most of us don't know anything. And then when you say, is there anything to know? Well, yeah, absolutely there is, and that's what the spiritual path is about. But is there anything to know in terms of facts and figures? No. You can talk to 10 different enlightened masters from 10 different traditions and ask them all questions. What does God look like? What is your prayer? What is your meditation experience? And you may get 10 different answers. Unlike math, unlike science, unlike mechanics, where there's one answer to know. In spirituality, it's not about knowing something that there's one right answer to. It's about knowing the truth of who we are. And that only comes from experience. And I don't mean experience as in you have to do it every day, this many hours a day for this many years. I mean experience as in you've actually had the experience. In Sanskrit they talk about anubhav. An actual experience, not something someone else has told me. Not something I read in a book. That comes through grace, the grace of the Guru, the grace of the Divine. It comes through our meditation. That awareness is absolutely something to know. Because when we have that, then we have the most precious bit of awareness. I'll end with just a very quick story. True story. Or true story combined with some folklore, perhaps. The story is a story of Alexander the Great, or the not so great, depending on how we view, but nonetheless, the way we're schooled is Alexander the Great. So when he was on all of his conquests, when they had come down into India, he said, I've heard that in India there are these yogis, and these yogis have these great, great powers. Bring me a yogi. He told all his soldiers, bring me a yogi, because I want one of them with all of their powers, because then I can get all the powers, I can conquer everything, attain everything, get everything. So his soldiers go off in search of a yogi. And one day, one of the groups is moving through the fields, and under a tree they see a almost naked man with long hair, and he's meditating. And the soldier stops the horses and he says, wait, I think this is a yogi. And so he gets off the horse and he starts speaking to the sadhu. And he says, I've come from the great king, and we'll give you everything. We want you to come with us. And he starts telling him all about all the things he's going to give him. All of the gold and the diamonds and the riches and this. So the sadhu says, I won't come with you. I don't want anything. So the soldier gets very angry. He says, don't you know who I am, where I've come from, what we have, who we are? We can give you everything. And the sadhu, the yogi, says, there is nothing that you have that I want. He said, actually, since you've entered my area, you've taken away something I was enjoying very much, which was this beautiful sunshine that was coming on me. And you see, you're standing in such a way that now you're blocking the sun. I was in the sunshine, now I'm in the shade. So all I want from you is if you could just move a little bit this way, so the sun could come back on me. That would be a wonderful gift. And I love the story because when you really know, there's nothing else you need. Even when the soldiers of the great king are standing in front of you saying, we'll give you everything, there's nothing you want when you know. The more we long for things and yearn for things and run after things, the less we really know.